Bonding bushings are required. According to the National Electrical Code, specifically Article 250.97b, when metallic conduit, such as electrical metallic tubing, or EMT, is threaded into a non-metallic box, a junction box, or a knockout in an enclosure, a bonding bushing or other approved means shall be used to connect the conduit to the box or enclosure. This requirement is designed to ensure electrical continuity and proper grounding within the electrical system. In the scenario described, even though the EMT conduit is connected to the panel board enclosure through the lock nut and shoulder of the fitting, the point where the PVC pipe transitions to the EMT conduit represents a non-metallic location. This transition point interrupts the continuous metallic pathway required for effective grounding. Therefore, a bonding bushing is necessary to maintain the bonding continuity between the PVC pipe and the EMT conduit. The purpose of bonding is to create a low impedance path for fault current to return to the source. This low impedance path facilitates the operation of overcurrent protective devices such as circuit breakers or fuses in the event of a ground fault. Without proper bonding, fault current may not be able to return to the source quickly enough, which can result in elevated touch potentials on metallic surfaces and increase the risk of electrical shock. The National Electrical Code outlines specific requirements for grounding and bonding to minimize these risks. Article 250 of the NEC provides comprehensive guidelines for ensuring electrical safety through effective grounding and bonding practices. When dealing with transitions between different types of conduit, such as PVC and EMT, it is crucial to address the bonding requirements at the transition point. Because PVC is a non-conductive material, it cannot provide a continuous grounding path. Therefore, when EMT conduit is connected to PVC conduit, a supplemental bonding means is required to ensure that the metallic conduit is properly grounded. A bonding bushing is a type of fitting that is designed to provide a secure electrical connection between the conduit and the enclosure. It typically consists of a metallic bushing with a set screw or other means of making a reliable connection to the conduit. The bonding bushing is installed on the end of the conduit where it enters the enclosure, and a bonding jumper is connected from the bonding bushing to the grounding busbar or other suitable grounding point within the enclosure. The bonding jumper provides a low impedance path for fault current to flow back to the source, ensuring that overcurrent protective devices will operate quickly in the event of a ground fault. There are several different types of bonding bushings available, each designed for specific applications. Some bonding bushings are designed for use with rigid metal conduit, while others are designed for use with EMT conduit. It is important to select the appropriate type of bonding bushing for the specific type of conduit being used. In addition to bonding bushings, there are other approved means of providing bonding continuity between different types of conduit. One alternative is to use a grounding lock nut. A grounding lock nut is a type of lock nut that is designed to provide a secure electrical connection between the conduit and the enclosure. It typically consists of a lock nut with a set screw or other means of making a reliable connection to the conduit. The grounding lock nut is installed on the end of the conduit where it enters the enclosure, and a bonding jumper is connected from the grounding lock nut to the grounding busbar or other suitable grounding point within the enclosure. Another alternative is to use a grounding wedge. A grounding wedge is a type of fitting that is designed to provide a secure electrical connection between the conduit and the enclosure. It typically consists of a wedge-shaped piece of metal with a set screw or other means of making a reliable connection to the conduit. The grounding wedge is installed on the end of the conduit where it enters the enclosure, and a bonding jumper is connected from the grounding wedge to the grounding busbar or other suitable grounding point within the enclosure. When selecting a bonding means, it is important to consider the specific requirements of the installation. The NEC provides detailed guidelines for selecting and installing bonding means to ensure that the electrical system is properly grounded. It is also important to consider the environmental conditions in which the bonding means will be installed. If the bonding means will be exposed to moisture or corrosive elements, it is important to select a bonding means that is designed to withstand these conditions. In the specific scenario described, where EMT conduit enters an electrical panel through drilled or punched holes after transitioning from underground PVC conduit, it is essential to use bonding bushings to maintain grounding continuity. The lock nut and shoulder on the EMT fitting alone are not sufficient to provide adequate bonding because the transition from PVC to EMT occurs at a non-metallic location. The bonding bushing provides a reliable electrical connection between the EMT conduit and the panel board enclosure, ensuring that fault current can safely return to the source. Installing bonding bushings is a relatively simple process, but it is important to follow the manufacturer's instructions carefully. Firstly, ensure that the surface of the enclosure where the bonding bushing will be installed is clean and free of any dirt, grease, or other contaminants. Secondly, install the bonding bushing on the end of the EMT conduit, making sure that it is securely tightened. Thirdly, connect a bonding jumper from the bonding bushing to the grounding busbar or other suitable grounding point within the enclosure. The bonding jumper should be sized according to the requirements of the NEC, and it should be securely connected to both the bonding bushing and the grounding busbar. Once the bonding bushing is installed, it is important to inspect it regularly to ensure that it is still securely connected and that there are no signs of corrosion or damage. If any problems are found, the bonding bushing should be replaced immediately. In addition to the specific requirements for bonding EMT conduit to non-metallic enclosures, there are also general requirements for grounding and bonding electrical systems. The NEC requires that all electrical systems be properly grounded to minimize the risk of electrical shock and to ensure that overcurrent protective devices will operate quickly in the event of a ground fault. Grounding is the process of connecting the electrical system to the earth, which provides a low impedance path for fault current to flow back to the source. Bonding is the process of connecting all metallic parts of the electrical system together to create a continuous electrical pathway. This pathway ensures that fault current can flow freely throughout the system, allowing overcurrent protective devices to operate quickly in the event of a ground fault. The NEC provides detailed guidelines for grounding and bonding electrical systems, including requirements for the size and type of grounding conductors, the location of grounding electrodes, and the methods of bonding metallic parts of the system. It is important to follow these guidelines carefully to ensure that the electrical system is properly grounded and bonded. Proper grounding and bonding are essential for electrical safety. By following the requirements of the NEC and using appropriate bonding means, it is possible to minimize the risk of electrical shock and to ensure that overcurrent protective devices will operate quickly in the event of a ground fault. In summary, when EMT conduit transitions from underground PVC conduit and enters an electrical panel through drilled or punched holes, bonding bushings are required to maintain grounding continuity. The lock nut and shoulder on the EMT fitting alone are not sufficient to provide adequate bonding. Bonding bushings provide a reliable electrical connection between the EMT conduit and the panel board enclosure, ensuring that fault current can safely return to the source. Always consult the latest edition of the National Electrical Code and local electrical codes for specific requirements and guidelines related to grounding and bonding. Proper installation and regular inspection of bonding connections are crucial for maintaining a safe and reliable electrical system. When installing electrical systems, understanding concepts such as impedance, fault current, and touch potential is crucial. Impedance is the measure of opposition to alternating current flow. A low impedance path is desirable for ground fault current because it allows the current to flow easily back to the source, tripping the overcurrent protection device quickly. Fault current is the current that flows during a short circuit or ground fault condition. A ground fault occurs when an ungrounded conductor comes into contact with a grounded surface or equipment grounding conductor. Touch potential is the voltage difference between a grounded object and the earth. Proper bonding and grounding minimize touch potential during a fault, reducing the risk of electric shock. Consider a scenario where a metal enclosure housing electrical equipment becomes energized due to a fault. If the enclosure is properly bonded and grounded, the fault current will flow quickly back to the source, tripping the circuit breaker and energizing the enclosure. However, if the enclosure is not properly bonded and grounded, the fault current may not be sufficient to trip the breaker, and the enclosure may remain energized, creating a dangerous touch potential. Another important aspect of electrical installations is the selection and coordination of overcurrent protection devices. Overcurrent protection devices, such as circuit breakers and fuses, are designed to protect electrical circuits and equipment from damage caused by excessive current flow. It is important to select overcurrent protection devices that are properly sized for the circuits they are protecting and that are coordinated to ensure that the device closest to the fault will trip first. The NEC provides detailed guidelines for selecting and coordinating overcurrent protection devices. When working with electrical systems, it is essential to follow all safety precautions and to use appropriate personal protective equipment. Always de-energize electrical circuits before working on them and use a voltage tester to verify that the circuit is de-energized. Wear appropriate personal protective equipment, such as safety glasses, gloves, and insulated tools. If you are not qualified to work on electrical systems, hire a licensed electrician. Electrical work can be dangerous, and it is important to take all necessary precautions to protect yourself and others from harm. Remember that electrical codes and regulations are subject to change, so it is important to stay up to date on the latest requirements. Consult the latest edition of the National Electrical Code and local electrical codes for specific requirements and guidelines related to electrical installations. By following these guidelines, you can help ensure that electrical systems are installed safely and reliably. The information provided here is intended for educational purposes only and should not be considered a substitute for professional advice. Always consult with a qualified electrician or electrical engineer before performing any electrical work. Safety should always be the top priority when working with electricity. Proper use of bonding bushings is one small but important part of ensuring a safe electrical installation.